Republicans going to insist the Democrat Party stop insulting them and treating them like they are inferior, and we as Republicans offer equality of opportunity. The Democrats try to promise socialist equality of outcomes, which means everybody is poor. It never works.
Yeah,
they're
exactly
equating.
Right.
They're equating race with culture also, because if you remember, the article talked about certain cultures, but then the response is if you don't respect those cultures and that culture's being, lazy or late for work or just doesn't care about the clock so much, then you're a racist. Well, wait a minute. Now you're saying culture is race, and there's all kinds of different cultures in different races and all kinds of races with different cultures.
Yeah.
So if you start saying everybody's a racist, then you're the racist.
Yeah.
Right. Like you've got the Yankee and the redneck culture, the New York culture, the Atlanta culture within the white race itself.
Yep.
I mean, I know a culture of black people that are professional and tight, and they're insulted by the ghetto imprint.
As they should be.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, ghetto people come in all colors. So there's no race involved in that. And that's what drives me crazy with the U of M and their affirmative action. You know what? If you want to give a hand up to people, do it by economic status. You come from Detroit. It shouldn't matter what color you are. You came from a bad school district like Detroit. You come from a poor neighborhood like Detroit. It doesn't matter what color you are. You should get that opportunity. If you're going to give somebody an affirmative action, give it to anybody from Detroit, whether they're Hispanic, white, black, or Asian. You know what I mean?
The important question, do you think finally Trump did, I've never been a big fan of Trump. You guys know that. I support him as president. I think he's doing an okay job so far. It's only 87 days in, whatever. We've got a long way to go to tell. But the one thing he did was outreach. He did outreach above and beyond anybody else ever did, and I've been clamoring for. You've got to go into Detroit and Chicago and L.A. and ask for the votes, and he did that. Do you think we can finally be turning a little bit of a page if we continue this outreach to wake people up?
Yeah, I believe that. I believe more black people have probably voted for Trump than they did Romney, and I think I've seen that poll out there already. So I think it's working because, you know what, the Democrats are hurting the black community simply by importing immigrants of all colors. They're bringing in more people who are taking the lower paid jobs or the lower skilled jobs that many of the people in the inner city, be they black or white or whatever, need to be taking. And so the Democrats, once again, are hurting the same people that have been voting for them. And I think a lot of those people, the underclass, the urban class, that are finally waking up and saying, yeah, I guess the Republicans are right. They're giving our jobs away to new immigrants.
Yeah, and there are none that a liberal hates more than a solid black conservative, especially if it's female conservative. But you guys don't have a female black conservative on your airways. But how do we get more people listening to the Abolitionist Roundtable on Saturday mornings and hearing the message from fellow blacks to blacks in waking up?
Yeah, it's a little early in the morning for me.
Yeah, I listen to them, but I've gotten in an argument with their resident black conservative concerning Trump at one point. So,
all right, well, great comments, Joe. I appreciate it.
Take care, my friends. Love you guys.
You
See
too,
Joe.
Take care. Bye-bye. Let's take a call from Gary in Hazel Park. Gary, welcome to the show.
Hey, thank you. Happy Easter to you guys.
And
you too, Gary.
Hey, I was talking about academia telling us that punctuality is irrelevant now. It wasn't long ago, just a few weeks ago, I read something where they were telling us that grammar didn't make any difference either, and if you thought it did, then that you were a racist because you wanted somebody to speak the King's English.
What?
I'm not. I didn't get it.
Say that again, Gary.
They're telling us that you do not have to have proper grammar anymore. And if
Ebonics.
Somebody's
there you go again. And, people will say, so if you run across an African-American who is speaking very good English, grammatically correct English, people will look down on him.
We just had that conversation about reading earlier.
Yeah, you're an Uncle Tom, you're whatever. Why are you acting so white? It's not white to be speaking grammatically correct English. Now, I still use the word ain't a lot. I'm sorry. I'm a little bit of a redneck. I can't help it. I enjoy it. That's who I am. But, yeah, it's crazy. Being grammatically correct, speaking and reading and acting in ways that breed success or ensure success shouldn't be racist at all.
I've tried as a young man to learn a vocabulary that would express exactly what I wanted to say with pinpoint precision, and I find that nobody understands me.
Well, the left, one of their greatest ways of destroying our civilization is the perversion of language. They go at it with a fervor. They will take words and just twist them all the way to hell and back.
Yeah, well, I could probably do a show on this one day because I've looked at languages. I've dabbled in a bunch of different languages because I try to learn a language when I go to Germany. I try to speak a little German. Normally they say thank you very much, but it's pretty bad. We speak English, you're good. But I think human beings, as a rule, take whatever language they use and they kind of shorten it up and get lazy with it, and that's how languages evolve. I mean,
language is central to a culture. Now, we're talking about culture here. Language is central to a culture. And if you have this diverse language that all of a sudden goes all sloppy and everything, then basically you're losing your culture, which is exactly what the goal of some is, to break down our culture.
Right. Yeah. We'll just be grunting at each other pretty soon.
Exactly. Great call, Gary, as always, man. I appreciate it.
What did you mean by that?
Have a great Easter, man. All right. So, that's just sheer craziness. Well, here's another one before we get into me, because I know everyone wants to talk about Korea. Everyone wants to talk about the big stories. There is another story that was out, and it's about the EMP, right? Now, which is one of my big problems with Congress. And we've had Congressman Tim on a number of occasions saying, why is not Congress fortifying the grid?
Hardening the grid,
right? And he says the House has passed it numerous times. It never gets past the Senate. Derek, you got track one ready? Let's play this. This is the Pentagon is now worried about this more than anybody else.
Amid warnings that North Korea and Iran have plans to take out parts of the U.S. electric grid through a cyber attack or atmospheric nuclear blast, the Pentagon is taking steps to protect both the nation's communications and power lifeline. The Pentagon is developing a system that can detect a cyber attack and gin up an alternative communications network for military and civilian use if the grid is fried, according to the online newsletter Defense Systems. Former CIA Director James Woolsey has been warning for years that the grid is extremely vulnerable, and former EMP Commission Chief of Staff Peter Vincent Pry has specifically pointed a finger at North Korea. The Pentagon's focus has been on thwarting a cyber attack, but Pry and Woolsey have also warned that North Korea or Iran could attack the grid using an atmospheric nuclear explosion over the East Coast. That would disable the grid and could end up leading to the death of 90% of those in the East. The Pentagon plan has several elements. First, it would include ways to sense an imminent attack that would trigger protections. And if damaged, it would have an alternative way for communications killed in the attack to continue in a backup system. However, it won't be ready until 2020.
Okay, so, and it's not just an EMP attack by Iran or Russia or the Koreans or anyone else. It could be something as simple as a solar flare. The sun is not predictable, folks. If you haven't figured it out, I think they say every couple of hundred years it puts out a giant solar storm that could literally wipe out our electrical grid, right? Yep. And I think we had some tracks from Newt Gingrich last year, probably last fall, that it's like a $5 billion fix. That's it. I don't care if it's $20 billion. Fix it. And why, for God's sake, won't the Congress and the Senate pass this through? It's people like Debbie Stabenow and the Democrats who keep wanting to block it because they want to get something extra in it for themselves or for their constituents, right?
Yes, exactly. We have, across this country, we have huge transformers. We have AC electricity, and that's given to us through transforming large voltages, the small voltages, and vice versa. And that's done in these big coils called transformers. And if those transformers aren't shielded, then a source of electrons in the atmosphere from an EMP or a solar flare can pass through that and spike, basically give a spike of voltage and send it across the grid. You're going to lose your TV, your computer. It may even go so far as to fry those coils. And those coils fry, they're not coming back. They're very expensive to replace.
I mean, this is something that should be bipartisan and should be fixed. And we'll pick this up on the other side of the break, but it's something that really needs to be fixed, and I want people to know about it. So we'll see you all on the other side of the break.
People are always on the move, driving to work, hauling the kids to practice. How do they keep up to date? They listen to Wham Talk 1600 just like you. If you're a business owner, your message can reach these people wherever their travels take them. People tune to Wham Radio for intelligent conversation with hosts like Joe Pags, Glenn Beck, Tyrone X, and Dana Lesh. And they'll stay tuned for your message as well. Call 734-971-1600 today and advertise your business on Wham Talk 1600 and whamradio.com.
Radio. I'm Rachel Sutherland. As Vice President Mike Pence travels to South Korea, North Korea says it's ready for war. Fox's Griff Jenkins reports.
Tensions are running high on the Korean peninsula. A massive show of force as North Korea paraded their full arsenal of weapons on display, including what appears to be intercontinental ballistic missiles during its annual celebration honoring the country's founder, Kim Il-sung.
President Trump is watching the situation from his Florida home where he's spending the Easter weekend. Protesters are gathering in at least 150 cities demanding President Trump release his tax returns. Senator Ron Wyden among the crowd in D.C.
Maybe we can get some answers to the whole array of questions about business connections, especially to Russia.
The Trump administration has said the public doesn't care about the president's tax returns. And after months of anticipation, April, the draft finally gives birth. Fox News, we report from the side.
It's 2017. If you're thinking about investing in your house, now is the time. Check out woodrehab.com or call 248-506-6175. Use this year's tax refund to spruce up your house. And what better way than upgrading your tired kitchen cabinets? Wood Rehab can give your kitchen cabinets a new look at a great price. Don't replace them. You can paint or refinish without emptying your cabinets in this very non-intrusive process, which averages 7 days from start to finish. Call 248-506-6175. Ask for Dave. Woodrehab.com will give you 10% off if you mention this ad. 2017 is a great year. Get it started with a brand new kitchen. Call 248-506-6175 or go to the web at woodrehab.com. and get your kitchen renovation started today.
This is Mark with Ashelman Equipment. Need help with your property maintenance? Ashelman Equipment has LS tractor loaders ready to go. Power steering and hydro transmissions make driving fun and easy for the whole family. Want to stay out of the weather? Have tractors with heat and AC in stock. Buckets, forks, snow blades are changed with just a pull of a lever. LS Tractor is the highest quality tractor in the U.S. and #1 in customer satisfaction, awarded by EDA for 2015 and again in 2016. Highest quality, more features standard, 5-year warranty, free loader, and 1.59% financing qualifying. Ashelman Equipment in Whitmore Lake is at exit 50 on US 23, just north of Ann Arbor. Call 734-994-6000. That's 734-994-6000.
It's been 5 years since we met Kelly Brighton, just before her weight loss surgery.
I was almost 300 pounds. Because of the Michigan Bariatric Institute, I've lost the weight. I now have the tools to keep it off. I'm a better mom, I am a better wife, and I'm just a better Kelly Brighton, I think.
Begin your journey. Try a free monthly educational seminar at St. Joe's Livingston. Visit stjoeshealth.org/MBI to learn more.
You're listening to The Drift on Wham Talk 1600. Join in the conversation at 734-822-1600. Now, back to your host, Gary Wellings.
And welcome back. Thank you for tuning in to Catch Our Drift. Joining me in studio, Ipsy Ed.
Hey.
Yeah, I know. It's a little loud. Go ahead, move it. Go ahead. Sorry. Yeah, okay, so there we go. Let's take care of a little business. Our sponsor this half hour is Max Marine. That's a certified full marine service. It's springtime. Your boats are probably ready to get into the water. You can call them at 734-449-4706. That's 734-449-4706. They're located on the lakefront, but they also have a huge service place in South Lyons. So if you're looking to get any of your work on your boat done, get it done there. If you're looking for maybe a used boat, you can pick them up there. And they also have dock slip slips available right on Whitmore Lake, which is a great all-sports lake. So if you want to get your boat and dock it there this year, get hold of them soon, 734-449.